Hi there, awesome friends. So I just received a new pack of die cuts, and they are a little bit different to the ones I normally use, and I have a couple of packs available if there are any South African ladies that want them. There's approximately 30 Easter die cuts, and it is 50 Rand. Anyway, I wanted to show you what I'm going to do with them, and we'll have some fun. So for the sake of time, I've prepared some of the ATC cards already. I just glued the die cuts down, and here are some of the leftover ones. I wanted to show you the bunny. This red bunny is amazing, and I had another one which was in a thinner card than this, so I want to see how that works. And as you can see, I cut off the bunny and I left about a 2mm gap on the edge, and the reason being you want your tape to stick right to the edge. So don't be shy when a die cut is too big. You can cut it. Okay, so that's it, and here's all our goodies out the way. We are using our 30 micron thin metal tape today, and I've already pre-crumpled it for everybody who is joining us for the first time. I always crumple my metal tape because it gives it such a lovely finish when we're done. And I'm working with a 20 centimeter wide piece of tape. And today I'm like a production line. So I thought I'll show you the production line. Okay, the other bonus, when you crumple your tape, it's much easier to work with because it doesn't curl onto itself. So this is how Karen's production line works. See, there's a little piece stuck there. So, and look what I did. I put something on that side and something on that side. Oh well, this is going to have to be a double blessing, but I'll leave that one for another day. I'll do this. That's what happens when you're working at 3 o'clock in the morning. I couldn't sleep this morning. And I love this little funky bunny. He's just different and very fun. Now let's do the funky bunny. And maybe this egg. And I don't like to waste anything, so we'll trim it here. And I'll keep that little strip for another project. Okay, so from the back, I'm just smoothing the cards down really well, and then I'm going to trim them. And I find it much easier to trim with the blade, so we will trim with the blade. So I don't know if any of you have been watching some of the latest, I don't know if it's TikTok tutorials, but they speed them up so fast that you can't see what people are doing, and I find it makes me quite nauseous. I get motion sick when people's hands move so quickly you can't see. I don't know if I'm the only one that experiences that problem. I'd be keen to know. I've been toying with, whoopsie, my blade's a bit blunt. I've been toying with the idea of TikTok, but I just don't think I can go down that rabbit hole. Okay, so there you go. And so I must admit I should have in fact changed my blade. I think my blade is a little bit blunt, because I can feel it's not cutting smoothly. Anyway. Okay, I'm going to put these aside for the moment. Let's just start with 2, because I'm sure that I can't bore you by making a 6-in-1 tutorial. So we'll start with these. I have no idea what I've got. Oh, I've got the bunny and a bunny. How funny is that? A bunny and a bunny, but they're different bunnies. Okay, so this bunny that I'm doing here is this rabbit. that I cut. And I'm glad that we're starting with this because it was a very thin, lightweight card. And I really wanted to test whether it would work or not. And you can see the bunny, but it's very faint. So I think I do prefer the heavier card like this. You can see it's much heavier. Okay. So we're going to outline our bunny. I thought it's a good idea to do something for Easter, although sometimes I'm a bit conflicted because I think people have forgotten the real meaning of Easter and it's become a commercial thing. Okay. So what happened there was that I slipped with my tool and I scratched my bunny, but that is not an issue. And here I just need to smooth this down a bit. Okay, so here we go. Bunny is outlined and it's now literally just a silhouette. But obviously I would like to have some interest on my bunny. So there are two things you can do. You can decorate him like a real bunny and give him some interest in his ears. And I think we're going to do that. Remember, all the extra effort you make really does pan out. And I'm going to scribble just a pattern inside his ears. Wherever we technique with our tools is where our ink will stick. So it's worth doing a little bit of something. Now, I am not artistic, so I find it extremely difficult to draw eyes and things like that. So here, I think I'm actually going to do something else. And I'm honestly just going to doodle. You can do anything, you can try anything you want. So I'm going to doodle here instead. And also this is just to add some interest. And here we can go and maybe some little lines and maybe some little dots. And in the flower petal. So I have given a bit of interest to my bunny because otherwise it's just a very plain die cut. And I must admit I do like the plain die cuts because they give you a little bit more freedom to play around with. Okay, so we've done that, and then on this bunny I am going to technique the background and just using our scribble technique we are going to cover the whole background. And you can see I'm using my finger as a guide. So when I get close to the bunny, I don't want to scribble over it. So this is just using very short strokes with your tool. And when you're getting near the edge, to work towards the edge, not this way, otherwise you'll hook your tape. I really love to see what you make with your Easter die cuts. And so, somebody mentioned the other day I work very fast. This is true. I work very quickly. I think it's a sign of my personality because I can be quite impatient. I like things to happen fast and to be done. So sometimes I procrastinate a lot. In other words, I struggle to start, but once I start, I'm fast. So there you go. And yeah. The other day, somebody asked me why I spell awesome the way I do. For those of you who know me, my son was a very good rower, and I'm talking about in a rowboat. And obviously the rowing blades are called oars, or the oars are called rowing blades. So that's where the oar came from. But many years ago, I made bracelets for his rowing crew as a fundraiser when he was in grade 8. And I continued until he was in grade 12. So for 4 years, I made bracelets, and I made thousands. And at the end of the day, I raised 26,000 Rand for his rowing club. So it just goes to show all those 25 Rand bracelets added up to be quite substantial. So there is where you get awesome. Now, obviously, everybody plays with the word awesome as A-W-E-S-O-M-E. But I thought awesome as in a play on the rowing. What do you think? Quite cute, hey? Anyway, there's our bunny. And now for the next one. And this is a really cute little hare or bunny. So a hare, I think, has very long ears and is quite a chunky, is quite chunky in comparison to a bunny. I think bunnies are just, in my mind, small and fluffy. Okay. So this bunny has got a lovely design on its back already, and that's actually, just give it a rub with my paper pencil, and here we go. There you go. So this is really nice because you don't have to think too much about putting a design on, because the design is already part of the bunny. So here we are. And I'm going to be brave and give it an eye and a little nose and some whiskers. And decorate inside the ear. Okay, so there's our little bunny with its design on its back and its whiskers and ear. But I would like to try and give it some more detail here. It's very plain. So I'm going to wing it and try and think about how this is meant to be. So bunny must have a foot, and I'm assuming that is his foot there. And make the little tail all fluffy. And I'm assuming that's his other foot. I'm not very good at that, but I'll show you what I've done. So I gave the bunny, defined his leg and his little feet and scribbled his tail. So look how sweet he looks. And then for the background of this one, we are going to scribble. And I'm honestly scribbling in little sort of circles. And we're covering the whole background with that. Also, once again, being careful with the edge that you don't hook when you get to the edges. There you go. And just a little bit distracted because I'm all over the place, but basically you've got to cover the whole background, so it doesn't really matter where you start and stop. And here we are. I thought I would, do the backgrounds for you again. Although we did touch on background techniques last year, we have a lot of new people that are joining up my YouTube channel. So thank you for that. I really appreciate it. I just thought it's easier to look at something new than go back and look for things, especially looking for things you don't know exist. So here we go. So these are two of my favorite background techniques. I really do use them a lot, and you can use them on your bigger projects as well. I recently did a bird, a 3-dimensional bird. Maybe I'll show you quickly. Okay. So if you look there, I've scribbled the back. one sec for me and I'll show you the bird. Oh no, I guess I won't because I forgot I don't have it with me. Sorry about that. Sign of distraction. Okay, so we have done our two, our hare and our bunny. Hare big ears, bunny small ears. And I've got these others. I just want to see which ones I want to do. I think an egg. Okay, the egg and the funky bunny. Now let's do those two. And so often I find that the ladies and gents, because I have some very loyal gentleman followers, are hesitant to work the backgrounds. They would rather just leave them plain, and yet I find when you work the backgrounds, it really makes your project pop. So this is our Easter egg. There you go. And an interesting thing that I thought of yesterday was I'm making these little ATCs, and then what do you do with them? And somebody said to me they are actually mini works of art, which I thought was very generous with their compliment. But you know what is really nice that you can do is leave them as part of an art abandonment. You can go and look. There's a group on Facebook. It's got thousands of people in it. It's called Art Abandonment. And you just hide them or drop them in public places for people to find as a blessing. So, you know, that is something you can do with it. And then if you don't want to, I trade a lot of my ATCs internationally. I posted over 30 in January and February and March. So you can trade them. And then the other thing you can do with your ATC is actually use them in your journals to add interest, because they're really beautiful. And then lastly, you can use them on a card, you know, to make a card. So best watch this space, and I'll have to show you what I do with an ATC in a later tutorial. So here I'm actually following the shape of the egg, and you can see I'm trying to be careful near the edges. Okay, and here okay, so I'm following the curve of the egg. Okie dokie. Just being careful near the edge. Okay. So have a look there. I have sort of curved my lines around the egg, and this die cut of the egg has already got a lovely pattern, so you don't have to think too much. And here's a heart, and I want to show you I slipped with my tool, and you can only really do this on your thin tape. If you slip with your tool on your 70 micron thick tape, I'm afraid the damage is done. But you can get away with little mishaps on your 30 micron thin tape. Okay, so now I am literally techniquing the open areas. Remember, once again, the more we work our tape, the better the ink sticks. So here we go. And once again, I slipped. So I'm using my paper stump as an eraser. Okay, do little circles. I want to decorate this zigzag. I'm going to do little lines. Yeah, so the challenge today is to do something Easter related and to work your backgrounds with techniques. Okay, now often people that are new to the channel think that these are pretty pointless, these tiny little projects. But everything that you do and that you practice on the little projects, you actually can use for your bigger three-dimensional projects that you do. So nothing is ever wasted. And here we're going to put some little crosses, techniquing as much as I can where I can. Okay, and then what can we do? I think we'll do the scribble on this side just to fill in the gap. Okay, so I think I'm going to leave the other one, and we've done 3 with the techniques, and now we're going to ink them quickly. Inking with our fat black Sharpie. Remember your M15 or your W10, and obviously you can ink, or you can use black acrylic paint to do your background. Okay. So metal tape, for those of you watching for the first time, is self-adhesive aluminum foil, and you can generally find it in a hardware store. It is actually not a craft product. And I have a feeling that this hair with the big ears is going to be my favorite. I just had a brainwave. How amazing would it be if you made little ATC and hid them in the house for your grandkids to find, instead of giving them a sugar rush with all the Easter eggs? How cute would that be? Okie dokie. I have a feeling this egg is also going to be really beautiful. So here we are. Okay. Just give them a minute to dry. Your ink must be dry to the touch. See, it's still transferring a bit, so we'll give it a sec. And yeah, not dry. While I'm waiting for that to dry, let's quickly just carry on with this. You know, Karen's production line. And this is the Funky Bunny. He's actually really cute. How about a little challenge? This one is open to all my friends, whether you be international or not. If you make a comment on my tutorial, on this specific tutorial, by the end of April, I will send you to ATC. So please make a comment. His funny little eyes, and he's got a funny little nose and mouth, and we'll have to give him a few whiskers. The ears already have a bit of detail in them, and outlining our bunny. There you go. Okay, so he's outlined, and I'll leave him for later. I think these guys are dry. Not quite, but I'm too impatient. And using our sanding buff, oh, he's gorgeous. Definitely my favorite. It's also pretty. There you go. So here are our 3 little Easter ATC, and aren't they cute? I hope you can see all the lovely detail. Have an awesome day and a very blessed and safe Easter. And don't forget the true meaning of Easter.